everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and I had a lot of you request that I do a tutorial on Copic markers. I'm not certified. I'm just going to show you how I do it, and these are tips and things I picked up from watching other people on YouTube. But first I wanted to show you how I store my markers. I have one of these cases and it's meant to stand up, but I keep mine laying down flat because when I had them standing up, and for a while I hadn't used them, and a couple of them, the ink kind of flowed out just a little too much. So I keep mine in that container. I'm going to get something different soon because I'm running out of room in that. So anyway, I do keep them in that container, but I keep them laying down. And you need to use some kind of fade-resistant dye ink, and this is the Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. So I stamped my image, and I used a CC Designs Sugar Plums Party Emma that I got from Simon Says Stamps, so I got that there. So let me just show you how I do it. I'm going to start off by using the E000 and E01 or 00 for the skin, and I always start off with the skin first. So what I do is just in a circular motion, just fill in her complete face, and I'm using the E000. So I'm just filling that in. And then I switch over to the E01 to start doing some shading. And I'm just going kind of lightly around the outside of her face here. And I go a little heavier on one side because the just for shadowing reasons. So, and then once I put my darker color on, I go back with my E000 and blend in all of the areas that I just came in with the darker color. Okay, so now I'll go and just do the rest of the parts that for her skin. So that was her skin, and you can also use, let's see, I'm going to use E02 for her cheeks, just to give a little color. I have to get a different color. I'm not too keen on this one, so I'll just blend that in just a little bit. And again, I was using the E000. So that pretty much takes care of the skin. For the hair, I usually go with E25, E35, and E37. And I'll start with my lighter color first. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to start with my darker color. And what I do is whenever there's kind of like lines in the hair, I'll use that as a highlight and go with my darker color and blend that in. Or not blend it in, but highlight the areas. Going darker in some areas and lighter in others. And I'm not really cautious about where I'm going to do that. So this one's E35. I'm putting my pens back upside down so I don't remember which end. And then I'll go in and blend all of that, and it'll give kind of a highlighted look. But I'm also going to come back with my other color and do a little bit more shadowing. Okay, now I'm going to take my E37 and that's where I'll start adding a little bit more highlights. And then I'll come back with my lighter color and blend that all in. So I may have to speed this up a little bit, but at least you get the idea of how I do highlights on hair. Okay, so I went ahead and finished her hair. Now I did get a little bit of the brown on her face, so I'm just going to take my E000 and kind of go over that to push that color out. There we go. So now the brown isn't even there. That I did get a little bit from her hair. So the next thing you need to do is her top here, a little shirt, and I'm going to start with the B000, and I'm going to fill all of this in with my lighter color, and I usually go from a lighter color to darker colors when I'm working with my Copics. Okay, so that's the lighter color. I'm going to go to B01 and fill in some shading here, remembering that my light source is coming from the top at an angle. And then I'll come back with my B000 and blend all that in. Okay. And now for her skirt, I'm going to actually use a G00 and a G02, so I kind of skipped a number, and there is a G01, but I'm not going to be using that one mainly because I don't have it. So I'm going to start with G00, and I'm going to fill in her entire skirt. And then I'll come back with the darker color and do some highlighting. And there is quite a bit of difference in this, and I'll show you a little trick that you can do. If you don't have all of the colors that are closest in shade, what you do is you take the chisel tip and your brush tip, and just take your pen and pick up some of the color, and then you can use that to blend. Okay, and I see just a little bit of area that you could tell that it's the two different shades, so I'm just going to kind of pick that color out and blend it in a little bit more. So that's just a little tip for you for if you're ordering Copics for the first time. So you can skip numbers and go from a lighter number to a darker number, and be able to just touch the tips and get the same effect. Now I got a little bit of green in the little banner here, or her little party banner, so I'm going to take my blending pen just to try to lift up some of that green that I got in there, because it won't, the yellow kind of picks it up a little bit too. So I just kind of use my blending pen to push that back into the paper. And I'm going to use a Y21 and a Y23. They're not too much different in color, but I'm going to do her little party streamer here in the Y. So I kind of work in sections. I don't really, you know, go with all one color and then come back and do my shading. I work in that one section with that particular shade of color. Okay, and I'm going to take my Y23 and just do some highlighting in some of the areas, especially like right around her hand and where the streamer kind of twists, because it should be darker there. And then I'll take my Y21 and come back and blend that. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm using the Gina K Pure Luxury cardstock. Arlene from My Butterfly Kisses 12 sent it to me to try out, and I really like it. It's really nice. I also use the Nina cardstock that you can get from 7 Kids College Fund, and you can also get it from ellenhudson.com. So now I'm just doing your feet, and I'm using RV10, or her shoes rather, and this is RV10. And I'm putting my base color, which is the lighter color, down first. And then I'll come back with RV11 and add my highlighting. And then I'll go back with the RV10 and blend it. So basically it's just a lot of blending and playing with colors. Okay, and I did get a little bit outside of the line there, and my favorite tool to have in my Copics is my blender pen, because you can really clean up a lot of those spaces that you mess up on. So I'm just basically tapping it with the blending pen to pick up some of that. Really what you're doing is pushing the color down into the cardstock. So, okay, so that's basically my tutorial on how I use Copic markers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!